And if you're talking white wines, you've really got to talk about Chardonnay. And this is actually a pretty amazing block of Chardonnay.
It is a very amazing block of Chardonnay.
Australia's oldest.
Yes, it is.
I would imagine. 100-year-old block of Chardonnay.
That's right. So this is the Tyrrell's HVD Hunter Chardonnay. And now, as far as one of the places to grow Chardonnay in Australia, whilst I suppose it is classically the home of Chardonnay in many ways, it probably doesn't quite get the respect it really deserves. I suppose for a long time, that was because being quite a warm climate, the Hunter was producing these really big, rich, fat, and quite old school buttery style of Chardonnay. And the result was that you end up with, when the backlash started, probably a decade ago against that
Hunter
style,
was... They were the pawns in the firing line. They got knocked over
the firing
first.
line. That's exactly right. Or even
Rosemary, Roxburgh.
Oh yeah, that was
Show Reserve.
It was the best wines. You know, some of the Australia's best Chardonnays at the time were coming out of the Hunter Valley, and it was only due to, I suppose, consumer sentiment that said, "Hey, we don't want that style anymore." Yep. That has really sort of, if in many ways, it actually forced them to evolve into a newer style of Chardonnay, which brings us actually neatly to this wine.
Indeed. I mean, you know, the thing about Chardonnays, look. I disagree with Andrew. Andrew's Riesling man. You know, I'm Chardonnay man. I really think that Chardonnay is, for me, the greatest white grape variety because it has a range of textures and it has a really wide range of textures and flavours. So texturally, it can be like a Riesling from somewhere like Chablis or Tasmania or even, you know, New Zealand, Cumia River or something like that.
Yeah.
You know, where it's just this kind of quite steely, fresh, lively number, all the way to this creamy, voluptuous, you know, wine. Also, they can age. The good ones can kick on for 10 to 20 years.
Definitely.
You know, Australia is, I mean, a recent article, Andrew Jefford, very well-known wine writer, basically reckons Australian Chardonnay is better than Burgundy these days, except for the very top wines.
Definitely, yeah.
You know, at a tenth of the price. But, you know, it's got this texture, and then oak, there is just this seamless integration between Chardonnay and oak.
Yeah, definitely.
They're natural. They're family.
They're a great pairing. And look,
Got to be French oak.
I'd agree with you, Angus, in the fact that whilst I am a Riesling man, I will quite happily drink Chardonnay because I think it is right up there with my other favourite white wine.
This is good.
This is really good. And one of the ways that actually this is made really good is that they give it some very careful oak treatment. And I suppose that is what we're talking about, the modern Australian way of Chardonnay, is that they're really careful about trying to emphasise the fruit at its core.
And natural yeasts.
And natural yeast fermentations, trying to use really quite light and really careful oak treatments and careful about their lees of treatment and moving towards a style that is much crisper, dry. And I mean, you're looking at the colour of this, how clear and bright it sort of is.
13% alcohol too.
13%. You know, we're looking at something that is almost Sauvignon Blanc-like in many ways, but it's got that extra little bit of richness around us that comes from the grape.
When I'm looking for Chardonnay, I mean, the Chardonnay, you know, Riesling is all limey, Sauvignon Blanc or passion fruit. Chardonnay always has white peach for me. Always got this white peach kind of lemon rindy, citrusy. Sometimes it goes to mango and pineapple. Sometimes it goes to stones and that kind of thing. But white peach is what it tastes like, but it's got texture and richness. There's a lot of you know, I guess phenolics in the wine, and so it's got some mouth. It's got some real kind of grip in the mouth. Even the unwooded styles from Chablis have some real grip in the mouth.
Yeah, definitely.
But then this beautiful, clean, fresh acidity, lightness. I mean, this has got a beautiful length to it. It doesn't. I mean, it's like the new style. It doesn't like hit you like a brick in the face like the old ones, or it's like chewing on IKEA. You know, this is nothing like that.
No chipboard.
No chipboard here. It's more a fine pool cue, but you know, it's got this just lovely kind of freshness and length. And look, this is pretty damn good Chardonnay. And Chardonnay, you know, a lot of people have given it a stick for a while. The new Australian stuff is really top draw, you know, really more dependable than Riesling these days at the top levels.
I don't know if I can agree with that one.
The bars from Adelaide are on the way. Sorry. The Germans, I'm very sorry. I didn't mean to offend you. But, you know, it's got texture and richness. I mean, what do you look for in Chardonnay?
Well, I think you've covered most of it, actually. I really think that texture is one thing that really makes Chardonnay so interesting. And ultimately, it's the reason why Chardonnay is probably the best food wine of any white grape. Because it managed to have body as well as having acidity. So it's managing to tick enough of those boxes to be something that's really quite a complete wine.
Yeah.
And the other thing about it is just have so much more complexity. I mean, whilst I like the line and I like the beautiful aromatics and the purity of Riesling, I think that it is almost like the voluptuousness that you get from Chardonnay that makes it interesting.
But the good ones have measured voluptuous.
Yeah, definitely.
It's kind of like a tease to you. You see this kind of weight, but you never quite, you never quite experience all of it. But there, I guess the key is Chardonnay, give peace a chance. Give Chardonnay a chance.